shit in a long fucking time. So anyway,
And yeah, Audacity, do this on the old number three. A one,
one,
two,
two,
three.
three.
And we have recording power.
Doing this recording. So yeah, the fact that like as a fucking kindergarten age child, I was like excited about this fucking bullshit, fucking mad
Excited.
about you.
Yeah.
I am excited, I don't know, interested, aware, and interested is like absolutely fucked. And people now try to point to it and be like, kids are always on their fucking iPad watching Bluey. It's disgusting. No, I think it's disgusting that a fucking 5-year-old me was like, I need to see about Paul Reiser. I gotta see if Paul Reiser can get with this shiksa. I can see, gotta see if he's gonna be able to make this work. Like, what the fuck? That's fucked up. Kids should be watching Bluey. They should not give a fuck about Helen Hunt. Is Helen Hunt gonna give it up? You know?
Yeah, yeah, mad about you is definitely the Roblox of our day.
Well, no, like Roblox is good. It's like for children. It's like why
I thought it was all
media
fucked
for
up. I've heard
kids?
it's all fucked up. That there's like
Yeah.
pedophile shit or whatever all
Sure,
over
there's
it.
yeah. Well, what are pedophiles into? Stuff that's for kids, right? It's that Cat Williams joke, right? I got things in my house that bitches like because I like bitches.
Right,
What did
as
Michael
opposed
Jackson
to
or what did
yeah,
have? Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's like so yeah, that's I mean, that's the fuck that like I guess that is just true. They kind of forget about how different it was even just when we were kids, which feel, obviously this is how time works. You get old and then you think like it wasn't that long ago that you were a kid. They did not make media for children. Like they just didn't.
I
Like
mean, that's
there,
kind
yeah.
of not true.
Oh, well, okay. When we were kids, there was more. And before that, it was even worse. They just like had nothing that was actually for kids, like on TV. TV was relatively new, blah blah blah, whatever.
That's
Like,
true. I mean, like in like my parents' era, probably, but even then there was like
right.
Sesame Street was starting out. But
Sure.
I know
But
what you
yeah,
mean. I mean, there's yeah,
yeah,
certainly there was less of everything than there is now,
right. And it's just like,
but
no,
like
when we were kids, there was even still like the idea of like Cartoon Network was a novel thing that came out while we were children. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be a channel that's always cartoons for kids. Because there was a time where it was like at a certain point in the day, there's no more kids television programming on anymore. Like after
yeah.
like 2 o'clock or whatever, it was like now there's just no kids shows on anymore at all.
If you didn't have any sort of cable situation, that's definitely the case because I distinctly remember the difference between like before and after eras of having cable television versus just broadcast TV. And
Right.
yeah, like a kid being all hyped up on the next week's Mad About You does
Yeah.
seem like a product of maybe being restricted to broadcast or something,
Right.
but
I just
or
imagine
just not
the
having control over the remote to
right.
change it to Nickelodeon or whatever.
Just imagine like the fucked up kids that were like they were excited about like Frost Nixon or whatever. Like they had to that was what they had to watch. Yeah.
It's funny in my like little I'll call them meager notes here. They're not the traditionally whacked out notes with links and stuff. But I did write as shorthand Rogan Corolla Frost Nixon.
Not exactly. Not exactly. They're both the same age as them, it seems. Like current day. Like you could tell me Adam Carolla is the same age as Richard Nixon is right now, which is also includes being dead, and I would
Yeah,
believe
his
it.
corpse.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that was fucking brutal, man. But it's also like it was boring and brutal. It was
It
definitely.
seemed like it would be brutally boring, boringly brutal.
It's just they're such fucking boomers. Like they're just two boomers who are basically obsessed with just saying the same shit to each other. And it is kind of like it's kind of sad because it just shows where Joe Rogan is. Because for a long time he was I think for a good amount of time he was like too hip to have Adam Carolla on the show, right? Too kind of with it and cool. And now he's gotten to the
Yeah.
point where like the only, in his mind slash reality, whatever. But now he's gotten to the point where he's so boomerfied that like having Adam Carolla on is exactly his speed.
Yeah, it makes sense
Because
more than ever. I would
because even
agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
even though Carolla's only like 3 years older than Rogan, like Carolla leaned into being like a boomer con went like 20 years ago, basically.
Yeah.
Like when he was, when Corolla hit 50, he was like, fuck it, I'm like an old man yelling at cloud. I don't give a shit anymore. Like mid 40s even. Whereas Rogan was still like, I'm hip, I'm, on the UFC, I'm, talking to cool young guys or whatever. Now he's just,
Weed.
yeah, I'm into smoking weed. But now he's just absolutely the same level of boomer as Corolla. And it's just, they're basically just sitting there like talking about the same three topics that they've been talking about for 30 years, it feels like.
I'm enjoying what I gather through the little clips I see throughout, the week, I guess, usually of whatever the fuck Joe Rogan is doing. I'm enjoying just watching the slow
Yeah.
downfall, like in terms of cultural relevancy or whatever, and just like how he. I mean, we're gonna get into this, whatever, once we like really get into the episode, I guess, whatever. I mean, I kind of want to just like do the intro now and like just let's just do it. But
Yeah, I was thinking you should have just done the intro from the beginning and then even like the riffing and all that can just be part of the episode
I
if you want.
agree. I totally
So,
agree. I was gonna say
yeah,
it too, but then we just started naturally talking. But we
right.
gotta unnaturally force in this intro here, and then we'll get right back to where we left off, if that sounds all
Gotta
right.
push some rope.
He walked out in the gray light and stood and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
All right, welcome to Heat Death of the Universe, a podcast that is a bastion of overcoming and succumbing to body-focused repetitive behaviors again and again for all eternity. It is 11:59 a.m. KST, Saturday, November 22nd, year of our Lord, and also the snake, 2025. Your middle ear bones are vibrating in response to the pre-recorded complex interplay of respiration, phonation, and articulation of me, Joshua. How am I not myself? Nomen mutatio, and overcoming the limitations of time and space to meet us here today, all the way from the Dream Factory, is Tim, Cuomo-sexual conversion camp counselor Buechner. What's up, Tim?
How's it going, Josh? It's wonderful to be back on the only podcast that's willing to ask, was Bill Clinton getting that golden dome? How's it going tonight, Josh?
That's that's a thinker and a good one right there. I'm doing all right, all right, all right. And I guess we should acknowledge the fact that we haven't done this for what I've just quickly added up in my mind to be almost exactly 5 months of.
Nice.
No, I mean, it's not awesome. I would prefer that we
Almost
had
half a
just
year.
kept doing it. And I can't, yeah, like it felt like no, it couldn't be more than 3 months if I was just thinking about it. But anyway, folks, we're back and we're gonna try to stay back, especially me, I guess. It
Yeah,
was it was all me. I'll take the blame.
take
Um,
the L.
I had a how to put it, kind of a failed vacation to the United States. Like
Oh yeah, what the fuck happened?
what should have been really fun and like a great, time away from work and just seeing old friends and seeing family and stuff. And I went to like three different parts of the country and I planned on it being fun, and then it just like my brain got broken gradually throughout the month, and I don't know, I couldn't I couldn't get it together. I mean, I could go into probably way more detail, but I kind of stopped taking some medication at like the very beginning of this year, and that lasted up until like as soon as I got back from the vacation in August. I was like, I got to get right back on that medication. And yeah, so maybe that was part of it, but it was weird. It was like,
Sure.
it's funny, time goes by, aging, whatever, like things just like take on different levels of, it's like, I found a new way to be depressed and to not be able to feel joy. It's like, this is a new one this time. But anyway, that's basically the long and short of it. And then once I got back and still did not continue back onto the podcast, which I like thought about doing like every week. I was like, oh, this week's gonna be the week we'll get right back to it. Basically, my job has been awful. It's just horrible. I so like when I took this job at this new school in March, I was like not teaching. I was just like doing stuff in an office, which was like a lot of kind of bullshit. I've talked about some of this on the show, I think, in the past, but it was like research and development of curriculum type stuff. But they basically like offered me the opportunity to take over this class as a teacher, a homeroom teacher. And I was like, give me a day to think about it. And I was feeling a lot of pressure to just do it because I think they just desperately needed someone to take over for a teacher who had just kind of quit somewhat suddenly. And I was like, oh, it's sixth grade. I taught sixth grade before, and that was actually like probably the best year of teaching I've ever had was that one year. And now, yeah, this one has turned out to be the worst half of a year that I've had to do. For a bunch of reasons. The kids are just like above average shitty. Um, my
All
co-teacher
right.
is very bad at I don't know, maintaining any sort of sense of sanity in the classroom.
Nice.
I could drone on and on about this, but suffice to say, it's feeling just like torture at this point, and also like what makes it even like added to like the I dread going to work every day. Now it just feels like humiliating because they told me well in advance that they're not going to renew my contract at the end of
Oh,
the year, for stupid reasons. So it's basically like being fired, sort of,
from a
um,
job that you hate.
from a job that I hate, and that I was honestly thinking like they're gonna give me like a good raise for like putting me through this shit, like making me join up in a class that's like has a notoriously poorly behaved kids. Um, and in the middle of the year, I didn't realize how much that was gonna suck because I'd never done it before. But when you're like
Sure.
the new teacher in town halfway through the year, the kids already are kind of like
Oh yeah.
suspicious of
Oh yeah.
you or whatever. And
I've been in that
l-
situation. We had a teacher who like died in the middle of the year and then they tried to like replace them with like they also like kind of tried to lie to us and just be like he's really sick and
oh,
but he might come back. And then like they tried to like replace him with like substitutes and stuff throughout the middle of the year and it was just like there ain't no fucking way, bitch. Ain't nobody taking this class seriously now. You're fucked. You might as well just drop the fucking class and pretend like it doesn't exist. Like, I guess you got to do something with us. I ditched that class a ton, so I really kind of didn't care, but everybody else was just like, they were fucked. They didn't do jack shit.
yeah, I mean that sounds like you were in probably like high school, right? If
Yeah,
you were
yeah, I was high
ditching
school.
class, yeah, this is
Yeah.
elementary school.
I
This is
mean,
this is sixth grade, and this is
sure,
in
sure.
Korea, which is like a whole
Yeah,
different, whatever culture and stuff.
sure.
But actually, when you brought up the thing about like people today, like shitting on like the iPad kids generation or whatever, like I've kind of become that because
Nice.
literally iPads are like this source of contention in the class because they have their own like assigned iPads, and it's just crazy to see how addicted they are to them and will like be complete pieces of shit if you try to get in between them and their iPads or whatever.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Have you
But
ever tried to take the crack pipe out of someone's mouth? Come on, folks.
basically, I hate my students. I wish them like death every day, and it's getting like closer and closer to being like a serious wish. And like
How much have you taken from what we learned from Mr. Burcham and used? Have you given anybody donkey points and made them show up on the weekend to help you refinish your shed or your deck or whatever?
I mean, I did come in there with a point system blazing, thinking like this would be like a good incentive because it had been in the past, and it kind of still is in a way, but it's at this point now where it's just like both because the way this works, like I'm teaching at like a private elementary school, and all of these schools have like English homeroom teachers, and you share the same classroom as their Korean homeroom teacher, and it's like literally split down the middle, and they have like a retractable wall, so you could do like split classes or whatever whole classes together. And my co-teacher is just like she just tells me like she wakes up feeling miserable every day. And it's very like she's like I can't even like smile at people when they like say hello to me in the morning, stuff like that. It's just like the mood is so bad and like mine is
Nice.
terrible as well. And like all I'm trying to do to cope with it is to be as apathetic as possible. I'm just like I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I just like
That usually helps.
yeah, because like yelling at these kids is not changing anything. Even though it's felt good in the moment to scream at them that they are the worst group of kids I've ever taught in longer than they've been alive amount of time
Nice.
that I've been teaching, and they just kind of dumbly stare at me like they don't give a fuck. But anyway, so that's some of what's
Have you
going
tried
been going
calling
on.
them R words or the F slur? Have you
I
tried?
think a lot of
I think it might
slurs
work.
in my mind. I have just been able to like not been able to suppress like usually it would be like a really low volume muttered like fucking morons, fucking retards. Like it's getting louder and
Sure.
louder as time goes by. Because also, what the fuck? I've got nothing to lose. They're not gonna fire me at this point. Like I should. I
Well,
fantasize every day about like screaming in some of the worst particular kids' faces, all the
yeah.
worst things I can imagine. But I've restrained myself so far.
Well, good on you for that. I do think donkey points might be the answer to try. Have you tried telling them that you'll get a smartphone when they stop saying dumb things? Maybe that'll get through to them. I really do think that you were kind of the Mr. Bertram that we watched could have been a good way to train you into for this situation. You should have been more mentally prepared if you had taken the Mr. Bertram-ology more seriously. But you know,
If we were in the context of like a bunch of woke tard libtards in I don't know a native English speaking scenario,
sure,
maybe I could have
sure, sure.
looked to Bircham more to be be more
Yeah,
like the Buddha that way. Um, Unfortunately, in my situation, as I remind myself pretty much every day that I'm frustrated, there's nothing to be done about this. Like I just have to like
right.
wait it out and like it does feel like th last week in particular felt so slow. It was like one of those weeks where like every day of the week I thought, oh, tomorrow's got to be Friday, right?
Yeah.
Um, like
You were doing the
On Monday, I was going, it's got to be Friday, right? Like that, yeah, it's just so
yeah,
slow moving. And like, I was thinking about it earlier and I was like how to describe the feeling. Like, and I was like, Chinese water torture, which let me look up the Wikipedia on Chinese water torture, which interesting enough, despite the name, it is not a Chinese invention and it is not
of
traditional anywhere in Asia. Um, but it sounds
oh, of course.
terrible. I
It's
think
like
I
the
knew
Spanish
basically
flu
what
or
it
the
was.
yeah,
Like they just drip water on your head for a long time as you're restrained and you go insane. That's I think the idea.
sure.
Yeah, so it's like
Which is
that.
like it was basically like the pussy version of waterboarding, which like we can all agree is much more badass.
It sounds almost more like it would be like quicker to drive you insane. Like waterboarding would be torture, like physical torture.
Right,
And
right, right, right.
like I think the Chinese water torture is like yeah, definitely like a mental angle. But
Right. Like it was from when we were stupid. Like, the quote unquote greatest generation, bunch of dumbasses they were. They thought like you did that breaking someone down mentally that way would work better. But really, we found out the best thing to do is just legitimately like instant trauma reaction and causing people to just completely freak out and give them the sensation of dying. Like if you could trick someone's brain into thinking that they're drowning even though they're not technically, then like they'll fucking break way faster than like yeah, the psychological torture of dripping a little bit of water on them all night until they pee their pants like you're in camp or something. Yeah, grow up. Grow up.
yeah, it's true. It's true. It's also
One
just
thing
it
I did
seems
want to
like
mention. Oh, go ahead.
time saving. It's more time efficient to waterboard.
Sure. Yeah.
And you're
Gotta get in, get out.
probably using less water, so it's kind of
Yeah,
eco-friendly in that way.
that's true. Yeah. Um, It did remind me though, because we are talking about, I've brought up Mr. Burcham a ton. We've already talked about Adam Carolla. You mentioned that you've been doing some back catalog listening. I didn't mention that I've done the same. I started from the beginning of the podcast, back when it was you and Jason primarily doing the show.
Oh, of this
Um,
podcast. Wow.
and I was appreciating it. There was a lot of good stuff early on. I wish I had taken notes so that I could like remember some of the key points from early on, but you know me, I never do that. But one thing that did stand out to me a ton when I listened, and this is not like the early stuff, this was something else I listened to. The Mr. Burcham episodes actually have a ton of shit that like went on to become like almost like, Heat Death of the Universe 2.0 canonized bits and jokes. A lot of them started in the Mr. Burcham episodes,
Oh,
which I thought was
really?
very funny. Yeah, yeah, I thought I was like, oh, I did not realize that this came from this episode and this thing and this. It wasn't even necessarily all like Burcham related stuff too. It was like things that happened in the intro, outro, riffing and things. But I don't remember any of it because, like I said, I don't take notes. But if people want to hear some Easter eggs from the from the early times, listen to those Burcham episodes, and you can really. It felt like the Burcham episodes were really when we hit our stride as a podcast duo.
It it doesn't even feel that long ago to me, but that's, all that time warp shit.
Sure, sure, sure.
Um, yeah, I guess that was still a while back now. Um, I guess the conceit for today's episode if there is one, and there is, because I wrote down some stuff, is let's catch up on all the news we've missed in the last 5 months. It's totally doable. I think only a handful of things happened over the last 5 months.
Yeah, it hasn't been a big deal or nothing.
The news
Um,
we missed along the way. Um,
the most important news is the woman listening to this.
what I have at the top, and I kind of tried to go chronologically, just like through in like memory, but by memory
Sure,
is of course the beginning of this. I mean, what do you like? We'll just call it the Epstein saga, I guess. I was gonna say like
sure.
2.0, but like
Epstein ain't going away.
all of the stuff about Epstein in the past was basically non-mainstream, like any sort of mainstream coverage of it was like really surface level and stupid. Like, and in my mind,
Sure,
like
sure.
most of it was, covered by podcasts or whatever, TrueAnon, of course,
Right.
being the preeminent one. But yeah, now everybody seems to know a little bit more about it. It seems like I don't know.
I mean, no, no. I mean,
Or maybe not.
I feel like we have no one has actually learned anything new.
I'm saying like more
Like,
people who didn't know the stuff that to you and me is just like, oh yeah, of course, like everybody knows that.
right, okay,
Like
fair, fair.
that's what I
Kind of,
mean.
yeah.
I
I
mean, as far as new information, oh, go ahead. Sorry, finish your thought.
Okay, so this is kind of what I mean. Like new information, if you mean like evidence slash proof or whatever, technically yes. But it's like stuff that we all kind of already knew was the case. Does that, you know what I mean? Like,
We
get what I'm
knew
saying?
we knew, but there's more supportive evidence of
There's
certain
more
things.
evidence of shit that you kind of already had heard was the case or assumed. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really yeah. And I also feel like just like everybody just knows about it. You know what I mean? Like it's not really like breaking any deeper. Everyone is on this. That is why like it's such a big deal. This like current segment of the Epstein saga. It's an Epstein. It truly is like an Epstein spectrum. It's not like a. It doesn't come and go. It's constantly exists. It just depends on where you are on the Epstein spectrum. You know, at the time, this current, our current Epstein spectrum right now, where we're at, is like that's like part of it is like it's so um disruptive to the Trump administration because they were kind of feeling themselves, with all the ICE stuff. It was like even though they were getting a ton of pushback, it felt like they could just basically do whatever they wanted. Even if you know what I mean, there was kind of pushback. It's like this thing is just like this roadblock that Trump can't get through, and it feels like it kind of derails his concept of being able to do anything because it is so constant and so ubiquitous, and basically everyone just agrees on it and they refuse to just like drop it and let it go. It's not like everything else that happens in Trump land. It's like the one thing that everyone is just because it's basically the true, real version of what radicalized like the MAGA movement. Basically, like what created the meme magic Kekistan, thing was like Pizzagate into QAnon
I would say it's the heart
into
of
Epstein.
it's the heart of QAnon in a
Right.
way is
Right.
Epstein. Like this, yeah. Like I was,
Even though, like I said, even though like Pizzagate and QAnon never like expressly mentioned Epstein, Epstein is the truth of those two movements that are basically what turned into Trump. And notice that right there when I talked about all that, I didn't mention Gamergate, like Brianna Wu will pretend like is what actually caused Trump. Anyways, continue.
Gamergate. Um, Yeah, I mean that what is different about it is that it like the news cycle, standard news cycle shit kill it, which I love. I mean, I'm reveling in this stuff. Like it's so fucking entertaining to me. It's like the only good thing coming out of all this hell and misery um, is that we get to watch Trump like be confronted with this like obvious shit and like it's, I think we even have to almost split like the Epstein saga. It seems like that there's almost like two eras of it just since like June or July or whenever it started. And I want to say the real start to like this new like era of it was, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, but to me, it all kicked off with Trump in the press conference going, "Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?" I mean, that alone, I watched that clip like probably 500
Yeah, it's
times.
so good. It's the guy. I like when he referred to him as the man who won't die when he's famously dead, and that's like a big part of the Epstein didn't kill himself meme.
And
The man
famously
who won't
probably
die.
killed by Donald Trump
Right,
indirectly.
right. The man who will never be, and that really does give away the game because when Trump says the man who never dies, the man who won't die, he does mean exactly that. The man that I thought I already fucking killed, why won't
Exactly.
you people stop talking about him? God damn you motherfuckers. That's what he's actually saying when he says the man who won't die, folks. Because to him, Epstein being dead means people stop talking about him,
Yeah,
not
because he's a
that he's
moron.
actually dead. Yeah. Well, also because he killed him. Like the concept of his death is just like a thing that he did, you know,
Right, right.
to service to an ends a means to justify the ends of him not having to fucking hear about him anymore.
In that infamous like what I'll say was sort of kicked all of this off again in this particular direction of basically leading to what I think is increasingly undeniably a mega civil war of some sort.
Right.
Um, I even entitled it, like I wrote down like episode 270 and I titled it this Trump quote when I was like thinking, we were gonna do another episode back then. Um,
Sure, sure.
During that press conference, he said like whatever, blah blah blah. Why are you still talking about this creep? But then he said, "We are having some of the greatest success and also tragedy."
Because that was about Charlie Kirk, right?
No, no, no. This was before Charlie Kirk.
Oh.
It was
Oh.
about those poor girls dying in the flooding in Texas. But he was
Oh,
just like,
yes,
"We're
yes.
doing so great, and also there's a lot of tragedy."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he like has to frame it in like not just tragedy, also some of the greatest tragedy.
Yeah, some of the greatest tragedy of all time. People are saying that these tragedy numbers are through the roof.
There's also just something about of course, with everything Trump says, something about the way he says it that I did not put there in my little. I may insert that clip because it's a good one. But
Yeah, it is.
Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy.
Yeah. It's very I just heard him this is a contemporaneous bit of Trump talk that's just like yeah why he's so good. He was talking about like you've heard his new riff on affordability and he's like they keep talking about affordability but price is everything and inflation it's all going down. The only thing that's going up now is the stock market. It was that same thing that's so good. Like it's why he's so good because like, he could just do that in the moment and be like, everything is going down except for the stock market. That's going up. It's good. We're doing good. In the places where going up is bad, it's not happening. In the places where going up, it's good. That is what the kind of going up that we are doing, in fact.
the only thing going down is that's bad is me being a fucking loser.
Yeah. The part that I don't get, and this is like a little bit of pundit talk, a little bit of let's, breaking down what you hear from is so many people I hear talking about, the Trump presidency, the Trump situation, all this stuff. They talk about it a lot still in terms of what you would expect from like a normal political figure and like even in their second term as president, they care about like the impact that what they do and their polling numbers and all this has on their party moving forward. But it's like Trump is like lame duck presidency, and why would he care? Why Trump doesn't care about like the Republican Party after he's not president anymore. But people
Yeah.
talk about it in terms like he does. And it's like why would he? Why is oh he's so concerned he can't keep doing this stuff because it's clearly like killing his poll numbers. And it's like, why would he care about polls? He doesn't have to run for anything ever again for the rest of his life.
I think it does.
Like,
I think it does bother him on a personal level, though, when it's specifically like approval polls about him that are like exceptionally low. But
right, right.
he copes with it in a total denial. I'm sure.
Yeah, he cries into his pillowcase that's filled with money. Like, I'm sure that
Well, no, he
the
just
fact
says
that like
he just
yeah,
says fake news, and to him that's enough for him to like move on past
right,
it,
right, right, right,
except
right.
for deep, deep down where yeah, the demons are. But
Yeah, but those demons are never leaving. Those demons were put there back like when his dad was still alive and
oh right,
told
and,
was telling him he's a loser or whatever, you know?
right, and that's why he ultimately will never really care about this kind of stuff.
Right.
Which yeah, I agree with you. Um, I don't know. It just seems like eventually something's got to give. I feel like if anything's gonna maybe kill the man, it's this Epstein shit just not going away. Like for so like
Right.
because he keeps thinking in terms of like regular news cycle stuff. Like I've done so much horrible shit before that people just had to forget about. Like, but like this one's different. This one
Sure.
hits
Sure.
different.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so kind of fascinating and entertaining to me. And it's my favorite thing about the news these days. And I mean, I did have separated on this list, like sort of the initial Epstein stuff, which was just Trump like saying insane, obviously guilty sounding stuff, like openly to the press and in interviews or whatever. Like, what was the other big one? I'm trying to remember all the stuff off the top of my head, like where he's just like, frankly, I think it's boring, this Epstein stuff. He was like on the tarmac or whatever, and he was like standing with some guy who I can't remember who he is, just another one of these like finance demons, who I think like owns like one of Epstein's like old houses or something, and that guy was just behind him smirking as he was
Yeah.
being asked about Epstein. It's just like you know, so it's hard to get around phrases like dabbing on us and mask off when it comes to the Epstein saga at this point. It's just very and especially with the
Right.
emails, but his emails, which is like I would call seems like sort of the second part to all of this Epstein stuff the last few months. But I guess we could maybe sort of bookend that. And what else happened? Oh, also, I mean, we just should talk about, I guess, in general, like the way people were like the newsmen, the news folks were reacting to all of this, and it's kind of similar to like I mean the last big story we talked about in the last episode that we put out was basically all the stuff with Iran, and it's kind of a similar thing of just like watching Charlie Kirk uh, pre exploding body and all
Yeah,
the rest.
he's been pretty silent on things recently, and I find that, I find that troubling, to be honest.
Very sus.
Yeah.
But just watching these people like hem and haw and get pulled in like two opposite directions, like and there's like nothing they could do about it. They can't like I think even Charlie Kirk tried to just say, oh wait, I can't even remember. Was he talking about Epstein or Iran? I think he was talking about Epstein. Charlie Kirk said there's something
I mean,
like
what's the
I'm
difference?
right. Something to the effect of, I mean, when you're right, you're right. The Israel connection is there.
Yeah, plus
But
all the
he
pedophiles.
tried to just be like, I'm not going to talk about this anymore because there's no point or whatever. And then it's just like, nope, you are forced to talk about this like the very next day. He's like, oh shit. But it
He
was
said, "Listen, the only way I'll talk about this anymore is if someone shoots me in the neck. God damn it." I remember when he said that. I heard him. Yeah.
Yeah. He did say that. Um, and then
He
like
was always throwing that around, you know? He'd be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do the dishes unless someone shoots me in the neck. Oh my God, this is the worst, you know. Oh, this is the worst thing that's happened. Someone should just shoot me in the neck, you know." He's got a hangnail. He kicks the end of the table, you know. He kicks the table. Oh, I stubbed my toe. Anyway,
you can pry my newsman mic from my cold dead neck. Yeah, and then there was like Patel and Bongino. Their reactions were especially hilarious. I mean, because they made so much of their like media careers on, boilerplate Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy stuff, just from the right, which is basically only focus on everybody who's implicated except for Trump and his associates, I guess. Which is like that's the amazing thing to like think back on as well, like going back as far as like the beginnings of QAnon is like how was QAnon ever supportive of Trump if they were so into this Epstein shit? And I guess
he was a white hat pedophile. That was
uh,
the whole thing.
you're right.
Yeah.
That was the that was the
Yeah.
rationale. But I mean, that's still I
It's
mean, it's
insane.
insane.
It's absolutely insane. It's legitimately like some of the craziest, like they twisted themselves into knots to be like this guy, like this guy who's
It's
just been like
because
a fucking. Oh, go ahead.
It's
Go, go.
because he's the most prominent figure and best
Right.
friend of Epstein that he's precisely the one who would be the secret white hat pedophile.
Right. This guy who's been nothing but just a fucking nepo baby fancy lad for his entire life, billionaire, he's the one who actually cares. He's the one who actually wants to fix things. The guy who's shown absolutely zero interest in bettering society his entire life and has just skated by fucking taking advantage of immigrants. He's the one that's actually he cares so much and is going to try to fucking change everything. Like that
But
was the logic somehow.
but it's like if you know enough about the Epstein situation to know the basic dynamic of Jeffrey Epstein was compiling blackmail on all these people, and Trump is one of those most prominent people. I mean, it's still, I mean, obviously we've said several times it's insane, but it's a
Right.
thing, it's a type of insanity to marvel at over and over again. I guess I'm finding, but
Well, again, it's like it's so easy to just like separate yourself from everything, and and like, and just kind of like forget about the background and how these things like interweave and connect. Um, Once again, I promise I will never mention that this started at Gamergate because it's just absolutely bullshit. Um, there's like the Pizzagate thing, which was more like just this amorphous blob of like there's pedophilia rings, Nambla, it exists for real and all this stuff. And then at the same time there was the Kekistan meme magic, like we're going to make Donald Trump president by posting like fucking frogs on 4chan. And people kind of forget that like the QAnon thing started slash was created in the same fog of the Kekistan. Let's all pretend like we like Donald Trump because it'll be funny for him to become president. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
that's the part that like people completely drop, and I understand why they drop it because it turned real and a lot of people started to like actually buy into it, and it's very easy to like watch like the Good Liar videos and watch these like freaks who are just normal people who actually believe in Trump, but you forget that like the genesis of it, as you question like why would they ever believe that of all the fucking people on the planet Trump is a white hat pedophile who actually like is doing this. It's because it was a fucking joke. It was part of a joke. And that's the part that like again gets completely dropped because people just look at the insane people who later adopted it and like got into the QAnon thing in earnest and forget that like the whole lore and background of the QAnon thing from the beginning was started as part of all of that. It was looked at as part of the wouldn't it be funny if Donald Trump became president and we did it by posting fucking frogs on 4chan?
Yeah.
So it's like that's also part of it you have to remember when there's like giant plot holes in this thing is you have to like remember like oh yeah this started out as bullshit. That's why there's stuff that doesn't make any fucking sense that's basically in the foundation of this and is completely overlooked because it's everyone who earnestly joined into it after the ball is already rolling. They're not looking back into it. They're just accepting the, you know, the communally like understood basis and knowledge of the thing without like again looking back and being like, wait, this was not true from the beginning. It's kind of like, you know, mathematics and the fact that one times one should equal two and why everyone just accepts that that's not the case because of the flawed beginning of it when they first invented math and they did it as a joke to trick people and they said that it, you know, one times one is one and obviously there was one great man who is trying to fucking make people wake up to the fact that that was not true and it's a flawed basis of the entire mathematical system. You get what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing. It's the same concept.
I wonder if we could fill a whole episode without being like too repetitive, like of stuff that has already been said about Terrence Howard. Be an interesting challenge.
Yeah, yeah, right. Probably.
That guy. I mentioned this YouTuber before. Oh fuck, he's a really generic name. It's like Professor Dave or something. He's
Sure, sounds good.
he's like a kind of like an I fucking love science kind of guy, but like probably
Nice.
the more like palatable end of that whatever of part of that
Sure, sure.
culture whatever. Um, but he's done so many just like so many extremely thorough videos that and he's kind of like got like sort of like a dirt bag I fucking love science kind of angle,
Yeah.
he does swears and stuff. So he's like kind of trying to be funny, but then he's also like going into like the millions of reasons why every single thing that comes out of Terrence Howard's mouth is insane gibberish, and it's kind of entertaining to listen to. So that's a little
Yeah.
soft recommend there. Um, he's the same guy who does some great videos against the fucking I almost said the Epstein brothers, the Weinstein brothers.
Oh yeah.
Might as well be the same.
Yeah.
Um, surprised neither of those guys have gotten caught up in any of the lists or the emails. Maybe they are. I should look into that. You can see they
No,
are.
there's a kind of guy who's like too stupid to be a pedophile.
Yeah, but Eric Weinstein is like close confidant of Teal, who's definitely connected to Epstein. I could see like an easy overlap, and he's like a sort of fake like pop science kind of bullshitter, which is like another kind of guy that
Sure.
Epstein loved to hang out with. But I think maybe he is too stupid or too like uncool to even get on
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein's radar, actually.
Right. No, I just
Um,
think that like the way I describe it or the way I would describe it is like I said, like someone who's like just too stupid to be a pedophile, where it's like just basic sexuality is like already like overwhelming for them. Like if you like explained
too
like
stupid for
being
pedophilia.
if you explain like any kind of kink to one of the Weinstein brothers, they'd just be like, ah, shucks, man. Nah, I just need a girl with some big old knockers, and that's all I need. You know what I mean? Like they're just you don't they don't they just can't even comprehend the concept of anything beyond that, you know?
Yeah, Eric Weinstein is also the one. I'm forgetting which one. Yeah, Eric is the one who like likes to say he's like just naturally like a genius at playing guitar and like will like will
Yeah.
like jam
Hell
out like
yeah.
with
Yes.
like in Joe
Yeah.
Rogan's studio or whatever. It's
That's
so
like a special kind
embarrassing.
of dumb guy. You know that. You know, especially you, because you like have done bands and music and stuff. You know that kind of dumb guy. That's like a special kind of dumb guy where they just think that they're really good at guitar all on their own or whatever, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And he also thinks that he's written a paper that will shatter the foundation of physics as we know it. And it's just complete trash.
Yeah.
Um,
Ah.
re-
Here's the thing about that too. Like, you can say what you like. I bit my tongue somewhat. I let you have your fun. But Dr. Mike Israetel, like, at least he's fucking jacked. Like his papers and his stuff might be bullshit, but neither one of the Weinstein brothers actually got that jacked. You know what I mean?
is he right? Is he? Oh, like he's like a PhD. I forgot about that fact. I mean, that's his
Not
whole.
really.
Oh, he's
Not
not.
really.
Is that part of the
That's like this.
controversy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was kind of telling you all the controversy that people are like looking through his like supposed PhD thesis and it's just all gibberish and bullshit.
Oh, I thought it was more like his advice that he gives on
No,
podcasts
no,
was
no.
like bullshit or whatever.
No,
Okay.
most of that is like pretty like bog standard. He knows what he's talking about. Like I said, when it comes down to it, he actually got jacked. You can't argue with that part. Like,
Yeah.
the
I
Weinstein
can
brothers
see the
don't even fucking
muscles.
do that. Yeah. The Weinsteins don't even do that, and their science is bunk bullshit. Like, come on, guys. The least you could do is be jacked.
Watching I've like kind of forgotten how both of those guys are like so sidelined in the whole like MAGA world conversation now, and they're so bitter and so like upset about it. Like there's been like other podcasts where Eric Weinstein has gone on. I think it was like with Dave Rubin. So it was like really pathetic that he was basically crying to Dave Rubin about like, I'm really disappointed that no one in the administration has called me up. Like he thinks he's going to be part of the Trump admin for some reason. It's like I need a science
Nice.
bullshitter guy. It's like why would there's nothing
Yeah.
about that guy that would appeal to Donald Trump whatsoever, even despite like how
Yeah.
sycophantic he would be towards him. Um,
Yeah. It's like this, the scene in like Avengers when oh, we got to put the team together. Okay, we need Iron Man, we need Thor, the God of Thunder, we need the Incredible Hulk, Unstoppable Beast. Also we need a retarded liar. Can we get one of those? Can we get a Oh yes, we've got the Weinstein brothers. We actually have the two top best. They come as a tandem duo.
I mean, what's funny though is that like they're on the same level of like idiot as like a Patel or Bongino, right? I mean,
Sure.
yeah, but so that's probably why
But
they're even
again,
more bitter though. It's like those guys got in. What the fuck?
yes, but again, Bongino is jacked. Like,
Right.
and Patel
But
is like he's
what's
decently
the
hossy. He's a mini hoss. He's not that, super huge, but yeah.
yeah, I guess maybe it does come down to Trump's just incredible magnetic pull towards
Yeah.
handsome
He's a big beefy
generals or
guy.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, the Weinstein's got nothing in that department, but like not even I'm not even saying just that. I'm just saying like at least they like did show something, do something. The Weinsteins don't do anything except for the bullshit. They don't have like another dimension to them other than just being stupid.
They're all just YouTube podcasters, right? Like at the end of the day, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
I, I could be wrong about Patel
Right.
and Bongino, but anyway. Um, Also, a really funny highlight that we can't overlook was just the various breakdowns that Alex Jones has been having over like the contradictions of the Epstein
Right.
stuff. Maybe one of the early highlights was when he was like he classically just started crying on camera, doing like a
Yeah.
selfie take, talking about how he like couldn't believe what's going on. Like, how could Trump do this? He's like, I'm gonna puke. I
Yeah.
haven't been so upset that I puked in 15 years. But he's like still doing that. Like as this most
Right,
recent
right.
stuff came out, he's just like just watching the contradictions tear these people apart is really entertaining to me. I can't get enough of it. Yum yum yum.
Yeah, right. Ugh.
In between the two Epstein sort of I don't know, continued news cycles where it did kind of die down for a second there. I felt like because I remember at some point having the realization because I remember like texting you and being like it had been like 3 weeks straight or something of like Epstein stuff not going away, and I was like, damn, look at this, like it's still going. You were like, yeah, we'll see. And then I like it seemed like as soon as it sort of seemed like it went away though, the fucking 20,000 emails dropped and like it's right back
Right.
to where it was before. I mean, it's more intense than it was before because now there's actually technically new information to look through, and I thought it was, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't put together a whole lot of facts and figures over here, but I'll just say,
Sure thing.
obviously, the True Anon podcast covered this and they covered it very thoroughly. I recommend listening to their But His Emails episode that came out pretty recently. Did you listen to it?
Um, oh yes, 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 I did.
I thought it was pretty good. I actually
Yeah.
I've been like pretty much exclusively re-listening to Come Town lately, but I had to jump back onto True and On for that one for sure. And I'm glad I
Right.
did. But we could talk about some of the highlights from that. But maybe before we even get to that, to go sort of chronologically, I mean, here's my list here. I've just got lib resistance. Well, no, before that, I don't know what there's to say about this, but ICE continues to be horrific.
Seems cool.
There's
Yeah.
basically just like warfare going on into the streets of Chicago, it seems like. It's all kind of hard to keep up with and hard to say what's to be done about it exactly. I mean, other than,
Right.
I don't know, dancing. There was that video, whatever. I don't know. Did you see that? It was like in Portland. It's like people doing like 80s
Oh yeah, yeah,
style
yeah.
exercise in front of like a detention center. And
Right.
all the wonderful intra leftist discourse going on about that. But I don't know, maybe we can just sort of say that in passing. But um artificial intelligence continues to freak me out, I'll say. I mean, that's just
Okay,
something
okay.
that has not gone away over the last 5 months. I felt like I should just throw that in there. People keep talking about a bubble bursting with that, and then how there will probably just be like government bailouts because everything is bad. Um, there was that video Trump posted, that AI video of him of
Of him
him
dropping shit on everyone?
manning a
Yeah.
fighter jet and dropping literal feces on a group of
Pretty good.
protesters,
Pretty good.
which is very seems very a sign of the times type of thing.
Yeah.
There's
That was
more.
very much like Pop Pop is going off on Facebook, you know. That was definitely the vibe of that. And you know what? He deserves it. He really does. You know, if it wasn't for the fact again that he's one of the most evil, narcissistic, self and fucking indulged, disgusting pieces of shit that's ever lived, sure. But yeah, otherwise, you know, he is a pop pop who deserves it. He deserves to have a little fun posting on Facebook.
There was all that stuff about like this AI actress, which is just annoying. It's like, I don't know, but it's like I can imagine a stupid enough world where this stuff does take over,
Sure,
like
sure.
movies. But I don't know. I also kind of have at least a smidgen enough faith in humanity to think that like people wouldn't stand for that. But I don't know. It kind of becomes a thing is like as the technology, if the technology possibly gets truly indistinguishable, some people are saying it's already there. I disagree. I think you can still kind of pick up on it, even in some of this like new video stuff that's been released. But I don't know. I'm not. too worried about that. And obviously, there's like way bigger things to be worried about, upset about in the world than that. But
Right, right.
that was one of the things I found. I basically in my email, I get like, but my emails, I get like AI dystopia headlines of the day, like every day. And so I don't know. One of the more recent ones I saw was like some AI based toy just
Mhm.
like very quickly started encouraging kids to start fires and something else. Oh,
Hell
I
yeah.
think get kitchen like grab knives from from drawers or
Oh,
something.
oh, I'm sorry. Is the AI teaching these kids to be cool? Would you rather, again, would you rather going back to our previous conversation that they were on their iPods watching Bluey or playing Roblox? Or would you rather that they're setting things on fire and grabbing fucking kitchen knives? Everyone loves that YouTube video. It's one of the most popular early YouTube videos of the little kid running around, and the mom says, "What do you got?" And he says, "A knife," and he shows his knife to the camera, and then they all freak out and chase him. Everyone loved that and thought it was super cool and fun. I'm sorry, is it bad that we're gonna go back to that, to the good times?
I did think
Oh,
about, unironically, I did think about when I read that article or read the headline, probably. No, I read the whole thing, whatever.
sure, yeah, who cares?
I was thinking about how I
You don't
was
need to
def
justify yourself to me or any of these disgusting people. Listen, no, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. That's such an easy, stupid trope to do in the podcast. Pretend like you hate your fans or whatever.
you
That's
can,
not.
and you can't do that
Yeah.
until you're rich from your podcast. I mean, come on.
No, you can do it from the beginning. I've heard plenty of people do it like early
Yeah, but
on when
they're
no one
just
was listening to the
copying the
show.
rich ones.
I know, and that's what kind of makes it sad. Yeah, but also
Uh,
I just think it's hack. Anyways, I
yeah,
love you people. In fact, if you get in the Discord and you talk to me and whatever, I'll be fucking nicer to you than I am to anybody else that I like know in real life.
that actually reminds me of something I should just do now because I'll probably forget to do it at the end.
And
Whoever
no,
you
you're not gonna jerk off right now. Hold, we can wait until the fucking podcast's over. Anyways,
It is kind of around that midpoint where I would normally
we're
go
getting
jack
there.
off.
Yeah, I gotta go take a number three break real quick.
To the person that posted the thing on our Buzzsprout
Oh
podcast
yeah,
host thing, uh, because your name is not there. It just says Huntington Beach, California, and you
right.
wrote a nice thing about missing the
I think
podcast.
it's
So
anyway.
just make yourself known and we'll, I don't know, shout you out more thoroughly. And I'm just curious anyway. Yeah, there's this weird feature on like the host site of our podcast
Right.
where people can like text message us and it shows up on this
That's pretty cool.
website. This is the first time someone has actually used it
Yeah.
besides me writing testing, is this thing on or whatever. But
Well, it's incredibly stupid and weird. I don't know why anyone would use that. Sorry. Not trying to be mean to our new friend, that messaged or whatever. But it is like a weird way to try to contact anyone, let alone like us.
I think
But
if
then the
you
fact that it doesn't, yeah,
well, if you only went to, if you like, because if you click on like what our website is, I guess it would take you to the Buzzsprout
okay, yeah.
one, maybe. I don't know. I could see how they got
Well,
there.
we've plugged the Discord a lot, though. You know what
Also
I mean?
true, but
But I guess
like,
people are not on Discord. They're
un
like, I don't use that thing because that's the place where they turn you into like, they turn you into cat girl boys or whatever, and then they show you CIA secrets
that's
or
where
FDIC,
Destiny
whatever.
does all of his dirty
Yeah,
work.
that's where they do the forced trans on you and make you go in litter box. You have to poo in a litter box or whatever. So I get why you wouldn't want to go on there. I promise you, if you go into the Heat Death of the Universe Discord, I will not make you poo in a litter box. I will send you a picture of my penis in DMs though. Um,
It's a fun place over there. But yeah,
yeah.
just wanted to shout that person out. And if, in the
If you're reading
in the
this, yeah.
future, I would say if you do want to contact us, I mean, that did work. I did see your message, but I just
Well,
don't know
it
who you
didn't quite
are.
work. It didn't work because they were soliciting us to be a guest on whatever thing.
Oh,
they
right.
were doing
I
it.
forgot that was the part of it.
Yeah, so it did not work. It did not work in that
Okay,
regard.
so
So it
yes,
did work in the fact that you saw it.
if you do want us to come on your podcast, you need to contact us through one of the other ways, like the
Josh will be
email
on.
or whatever.
Josh will do your podcast. Me, maybe. It's possible. I have been very busy, so I may not want to. But
It's a soft maybe.
wait, I shouldn't say may not want to. I definitely want to do it. I may not actually do it because, again, like I said, busy. And I'm on the West Coast. If you're not on the West Coast, the time, I guess, I'm saying that to
I'm
you.
so not on the
You're
West
in
Coast.
Korea. You're like, I'm in fucking
I
Korea,
think you
man. What are you talking
can
about?
figure it out. But
Anyway. No, it's just
anyway,
because when I try to do podcasts with East Coast people, it's impossible because the 3 hour difference makes them be like, "Oh, I'm already in bed. I'm already in bed being gay by then. I can't. There's no way I can do a podcast with you." Anyways.
um, yeah, AI stuff,
Oh,
whatever.
hold on. We gotta do just a quick point of I Googled some things and was clicking around, just to mention it. Donald Trump, our president of the United States, man, and you show him some respect. He has a granddaughter, um, who is in fact 1 year younger than his eldest son, which I find kind of neat. That's just, that's kind of a cool situation to be in, family age wise,
Wait,
right? It's to be like
what's the family math of that again? Say it again.
Donald Trump has a his granddaughter, who is 1 year junior, his youngest son.
Too barren. Okay.
Yes.
That
Which
is
is, again, that's a
interesting.
bit, to be fair, it kind of makes sense why the Latinos liked him so much, at one point. Which I actually also have a bit, this can transition perfectly into a bit of like a antic data, as they call it. Um, because people, the hot topic right now has been the gerrymander, which I'm sure is on your list. All the gerrymander stuff and how Texas kind of like took for granted the idea that they could gerrymander districts around Mexicans loving Trump. But it turns out when you like put all of their ants in ICE detention facilities, they don't want to. When you take someone's abuela and you fucking send her back to Mexico, you're not going to then vote for that guy next time. It doesn't really work out for you. Is that I have like again like a little antic data for that is that there was a guy in my neighborhood who was like a Mexican laborer type guy who I seen at times like, you know, taking all of the tools out of the back of his truck and this and that, who had a Trump 2020 bumper sticker on his truck. And then when all of the shit, because my neighborhood has been hot for ICE activity, right? Because it's like a heavily Latino neighborhood since like the 80s and shit, like since the 60s. Honestly, my neighborhood is like the neighborhood that the Zoot Suit riots happened, if I'm being honest. It's been a heavily Latino neighborhood for like decades and decades. This guy, like over the course of all that stuff, he took that bumper sticker off of his car very fast. So just to be, I watched it happen in real time, but then I hear about it on like on all the politics chat. They're like, oh, the Texans, they thought that like the Mexicans were gonna vote for Trump forever, but then they realized that you can't deport them. And I'm like, I saw that happen in my neighborhood, where the guy was like, I don't support this guy anymore because he's fucking trying to send my people back. He's hassling every Mexican person that is fucking exists in the country. So yeah, just real quick. That's just a little bit of something that I meant to bring up on the podcast at some point, mixed with Tim clicking around on the internet and realizing something weird, moment there.
There was a story in the old news about a guy whose wife got deported who said he was still in support of Trump.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
I've just Googled it, but like it looks like this has happened like a couple of times. Yeah, one of these was like 4 months ago, but it also happened like back in March as well. Um, but I think the guy 4 months ago, I forget where they were from. God damn it, this is a video. Anyway, his wife was
Okay.
deported by ICE, but he still supports Trump anyway. So you've got
Well,
that
here's the
in the
thing.
mix as well, is all I'm saying.
Here's the thing. You have to like that is showing commitment to the game because that's the thing where you say like, listen, well, if we're being honest with ourselves, if we're being, if we're willing to accept the truth, the reality, if we're gonna make America great again, like in a greater America, I wouldn't have a wife. Like, and that guy has accepted that. Back when America was great, I would be a loser without a wife or a family. So he's kind of like he sees it. You got to take the pluses with the negatives. Like better country, worse sex life. That's how it goes when you're a weird little freak, right? It's okay. Yeah.
Speaking of weird little freaks, which we've already
Ben
heavily
Shapiro.
alluded to, I was just gonna say we gotta pour something out for old Charles T. Kirk. Uh, so that that happened. So that happened. The,
Yeah, I think that happened.
there was some really maybe like it seems like no one's talking about it anymore, but there was like a minute where people were talking about how little sense though the sort of official story of the assassin makes at this point. I don't know if people just got distracted by everything else or if maybe like something turned out to be like explained away, but like did you see all of the shit about how many times the guy like disassembled and reassembled the gun for no reason whatsoever? Like, I don't have the timeline in front of me, but like,
No,
if you
no.
look into it, it's fucking weird. It is very bizarre. Like
Everyone. Yeah.
all the facts about it, like it seems like there's no doubt that that is the guy who did it, I guess,
Sure,
but
sure,
that
sure.
just behavior that doesn't make any sense. Like especially with the like disassembling and reassembling the gun like multiple times, like as like after he had done it, like reassembling the gun. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. Maybe we can get into it in another episode or something if there's anything to
Right.
it. I'll look more into
It
it later.
feels
But
I was gonna say it feels like a Sirhan kind of situation. Like it feels like a this is so weird that people have just stopped talking about it. You know what I mean? Like one of the, like we got our we okay, we got what we want. And then also the other part about it that I think is that I think that Candace Owens like so successfully made Charlie Kirk's assassination about herself
yeah,
that people just stopped talking about anything else when it came to the Charlie Kirk stuff. It's like, yes, he's a martyr. Yes, he's the modern, Martin Luther King Jr. of our day, blah, blah, blah. But also, we can't talk about anything else because it's basically all about how insane Candy Owens has been. You know what I mean? Like it I think that like she like weirdly kind of like co-opted the whole thing into being about her so well that like no one else is really interested in talking about anything else. It's just like pour one out for pour one out for Charlie Kirk. He was a real one, and also Candace Owens is insane. And there is a little bit of room for a little because I'm sure it's in the back of your head. There's a little bit of room to sparkle over the top, put a little pixie dust on it of, and his ex-wife is a slut. It's, he's a
that's it.
martyr. Candace Owens is crazy, and his ex-wife is a bit of a slut, and that's all of it. Nothing, no time for details, no time to talk about anything else.
Yeah, after the note, some shit absolutely doesn't add up is Widow Kirk whoring it up.
Yep.
So yeah, there was all that
Hmm.
shit, which is very tabloid, whatever. One of the weirder things I saw amongst all the weird shit that was like in the immediate wake of his wake, I guess you could say,
Sure, sure, sure.
was I mean, of course, just that huge event that like was that like paid for by like government money? That like
Who can
giant
say? Who can really say?
that giant fucking memorial service for him. Um, but after that, I saw a video of like a church that was playing clips of AI Charlie Kirk, like in their church, which
Yeah,
just that like along with the dropping the fecal matter fighter jet video, it just seemed very emblematic of our times. Um,
Right.
and then like a good thing happened, in my opinion. I'm sure yours as well. Zoran won. He's going to be the
Eh,
mayor. It's
eh,
better than the
I don't care.
alternative, I
I don't
guess.
know about that. It feels like he's kind of a squishy, he's DSA. So I would rather, I think that we should have a trot in the in the mayor house of New York. I think this is really just appeasing the masses. It's unacceptable as far as
The
I'm
type of
concerned.
people that are saying shit like that would not say they want a Trotskyist there, though. But
That's true. That's true.
I get the kind of guy you're going for, which at times has been me in the past. But I'm a little less hardcore that way when it comes to I don't know, letting the DSA try something. As I
Yeah.
think I said in the Discord, my overall stance on him is like so far so good. We'll see what happens.
Right.
So, but
Yeah.
like
We
even if you are one
we're
of
talking about
those, oh, go ahead.
no, go.
Even if you are a hardcore Marxist, Leninist, Maoist, you still should be able to rejoice in like how miserable Andrew the murder machine Cuomo is
Right.
has been made by this. Just watching him like face plant so hard every fucking step of the way was pretty funny. Um,
Oh, what I was going to say is that we're like right in the middle of like as we're recording this, the big because we are, we're doing the retrospective, but add a little fresh takes in it.
oh yeah,
The
let's
the
just
the
get to it.
current Mom Donnie rizzing up Donald Trump
That's the
in
first
the
thing I saw
Oval
when I
today.
woke up this morning.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was
Pretty
pretty
good.
amazing, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Trump.
I didn't even watch the actual video. I've only seen like the quick commentary because like I just started seeing
Yeah.
this stuff. But like the one question I at least I remember was they tried to get Zoran on like, do you regret calling Donald Trump a fascist or like a despot or something? I forget what the language was. It was one of the
Yeah.
two. And like before he could even answer, Trump bailed him out of having to answer the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Of
amazing.
course he did. Of course he did. And you know why he did is because Trump knows that fucking Zoran is like a real G and probably would stand on business and say some fucked shit. And he didn't want to be wouldn't didn't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Like that he's gonna be like that because that would be a very bad, little thing for Trump is nothing if not fucking good at the like media bullshit. So he knows like if Zoran is pushed, Zoran has shown that he understands the most important thing he has is his authenticity. Trump knows that his most important thing is that he can be the biggest liar in the world and everyone just believes him. So he can just be the sin eater and say whatever the fuck he wants. And rather than let Zoran have to say some fucked up shit about him right in front of him, he just cuts it off at the fucking knees.
Yeah,
Of course,
totally.
it's perfect. It makes perfect sense, but it does show that Trump understands the situation, which is that Zoran has so much fucking political capital that he would be stupid. And that's why, again, like I was talking about earlier, why do I think that Trump gives a fuck about the Republican Party after he's done? Because he's much smarter than that and understands the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is Zoran has so much political capital right now that it's fucking stupid to try to fight him and it's smarter to just try to fucking co-opt him. Or even just try to fucking hang on to his coattails and be like, "I love that guy." I just get it. It's like Parks and Rec with little Sebastian. It's like don't be the asshole who's like, "I don't get it. I don't get why everyone likes this little horse." Just go along with it and be part of the group because it like fucking curries you some favor.
Right, but it also like the Epstein shit, like throws a wrench into the not so well-oiled MAGA engine.
Right,
Like, I mean,
right.
Laura Loomer losing her fucking mind over that thing was something to
Yeah.
witness on Twitter. Um, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all pretty like ballsy move on Mom Donnie's part. Like I was like tried to I figured out like why did this event even happen? And I found out that he initiated the whole thing, like his team or
Right,
whatever.
of course he did. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I wouldn't imagine that Trump would invite him, but like I just didn't know. I just woke up. I was like, what's going on in Looney Land right now? And it was just like, oh, two unlikely people standing next to each other. Why? Okay. Um, but yeah, I liked seeing him win. I liked his victory speech, It's when he like used the word hope a few times and I like winced a little bit because it just makes me think of like,
Yeah.
Obama or whatever. But
Oh, I thought
be-
maybe you were thinking about the Hopi people, the proud Native Americans that were slaughtered on this land. But yeah, okay, Obama, sure. Okay, anyway. What was that?
of course, that's the first place your mind would go. Anyone's
Anyway,
would.
well, every time I hear that word, that's all I can think about. And the terrible injustices that we did upon those people in their land. Anyways.
It makes me think of slang for marijuana in my favorite book, Infinite Jest. Bob Hope,
Yeah.
giving up all hope when you quit smoking the weed.
Hmm.
What was I going to say? Oh, I liked that he began the whole speech with a Eugene Debs quote. That was some nice
Yeah.
little red
That's a
meat.
beast.
Um,
I liked the Cuomo thing. I really liked that a ton. I can't take credit for noticing it because I like heard it on the Majority Report, but this is like a Sam Cedar grandpa thing. But like in during at one point of the speech, like he talks about Andrew Cuomo and says, "I'm not going to say his name again." And then later on, he quotes Cuomo's dad, but he doesn't attribute it to him because he's not saying the Cuomo name. I
ah,
really liked that a lot. I was like, that's very cool. That's very shady. Yeah.
and just if we're going to be talking about Cuomo, just say the thing, but it's amazing and not, of course, that this motherfucker not only like ran for this any office, any public office, and not because of his like sex crimes or whatever, but because of his like murder crimes.
Right.
Like it
Yeah.
seems like people just, I mean, that's something that I thought again ballsy of Zoran to bring up. Like he basically, I forget the exact wording, but like in one of the debates or something, he said like he sent 10,000 plus people to their deaths in whatever elderly homes, which
It was
so
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 cool.
many people just didn't fucking talk about at the time or since, and it drives me crazy.
Well, it was the perfect like dual-headed Hydra for him to run against is what made it so great because you got Zoran who said it that way, very dignified, and then you had Sliwa who said Andrew Cuomo, famous for slapping fannies and killing grannies. Which is just like when you're getting it on both ends that way. I mean, you're getting the sound bite, the tacky sound bite, and the like measured policy wonkery. Like, what are you fucking doing here, dude? You're fucked. Your goose is absolutely cooked.
It th
You're completely fucked. What are you thinking?
Yeah, that raw dog double teaming from both ends really, yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
satisfying to see because
Only a
f
Cuomo can take it like that hard, you know?
oh man, actually like talking about like back to the beginning era of this podcast, like Cuomo was someone I just hated so much, like every
Right.
episode basically for a good while
Disgusting,
there.
nipples protruding. Yeah, I know.
Um, I don't know we could maybe talk about I think one of the biggest, most interesting things about the big email drop was the stuff between Bannon and Epstein. So you must have
Oh
heard a
yeah.
little about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like how fucking like sincerely friendly, like in an almost a kind of bromantic way, to use a cringe term, they seem to be.
Well, it's not even just that. It was like the cattiness of both of them, like
Making fun of
kind of
Trump's jowls.
yeah. Yeah, kind of like them being like these remora fish, like sucker, like scum suckers attached to the side of this like charismatic supernova like Trump, and then but then being the like, again, like the snidely little fucking worms back like, behind his back. It is that like proximity to power thing where it's just like you two little freaks like fucking, talking behind his back in this way. It just really it humanizes those two disgusting people in a way that's like not there. A lot of times people use the term humanizing and you assume that it's like a positive way,
Right,
but it's like
right.
showing you the negative side of like being a person. It's just like you think of them as like these evil fucking monsters, but then you see that and you're just like, oh yeah, they're also just like fucking disgusting little freaks that are like there's nothing they can actually do about this person that they hate, and they're just sitting there fucking gossiping about him.
Yeah.
And they're gossiping again about one of the most evil men who's ever lived, and they're gossiping about how like uncouth he is. Like they're basically like blueing on, you know what I mean? Like yeah, it was just that part also between their conversations I thought was like very I don't even know exactly how to put it. There's probably a word in German that precisely explains this. Yeah.
Well, like speaking of German, they're like when they weren't like gossiping about Trump in that way, they were like planning on how to like alter elections for fascists in Europe and stuff like that.
Right, right.
Um, but another element that I mean, this has been everywhere, but I felt like it must be mentioned is like Megyn Kelly, because it's not just her, but this was just like a prominent example. But like certain factions of the pro-Trump world are like ones who are like who like so you got like an Alex Jones who's just like letting his skull like rip in half in front of everyone. Like, I don't know what to do here. Which side am I supposed to
Right, right.
take? But then like there's another sort of pocket of the population like Megyn Kelly here who like basically did the old like it's not pedophilia, it's hebephilia, aphebophilia argument
Right.
about Jeffrey Epstein, as if that's gonna like soften the blow. Like, if this is gonna make any of the like hardcore Q people who are like now rejecting MAGA like change their minds. Um, but yeah, she did the classic thing of like he wasn't into like 8-year olds. It was funny. She said it was more the barely legal thing, and then she said
Like
like 15
15,
year olds.
14, 14, 15.
It's
It's
like
like,
barely legal means 18.
right,
Means they've
right,
barely become the legal age.
right. It's barely legal means let me see your ID, happy birthday, let's fuck. It's not, yeah, again, but yeah, it's just, yeah, that was fucking crazy. But this kind of dovetails, this is not like the best place to put this conversation, but might as well. That like in the clips, in the little bit of like noticing, I've been doing some noticing myself of Megyn Kelly recently. I'm usually a big fan of shorter hair on women, but like Megyn Kelly's look right now, she looks so much better than she ever has before. And it's like I was like putting some like research into things. And I was just like, oh yeah, like when she was on like the news, like on cable news, she was a lot more like toned down, serious. She wasn't like over the top. And I was like, obviously she's gotten some work done. Her hair is longer and like textured. She's like clearly like just putting way more effort into it. And I'm like, oh, she's like yassifying, beautifying herself because she's like trying to appeal to a different audience. When
Hmm.
she was on like cable television, she's appealing to like boomers who want like I want like a girl. I want to take, if I'm going to be watching the news, yeah, I want to look at something pretty, but I want her to be a serious
Well,
newsman
there's
too.
also like the mandatory Fox News aesthetic that she just had to go along
Right.
with, I'm sure.
Sure. But now she looks a lot more, again, like part of it is like she's getting some plastic surgery, but she looks a lot more like modern, I guess. She's trying to appeal to a younger audience.
I
Yeah.
never
And I just
realized
found
how
that very
different
interesting.
she looks now. Like I've got Google
Yeah.
Images up and I'm seeing older and more recent pictures, and yeah, there's
When I
something.
mentioned it to my wife, she was like, I didn't realize that that's that same lady. She was like, I didn't
I could
know
see
that
that.
that
Yeah,
was
if you just like
her.
stopped paying
Yeah.
attention to her or never really did. Yeah.
And then she's like come back and like she's popular now. It's like, oh, I didn't remember that that's that Fox News lady from like fucking 15, 20 years ago or whatever.
I feel like
So yeah,
that
I just
that clip of hers, I'd like to think that would like hurt her professionally in some way, but I'm sure it will not.
oh no,
Um,
of course not. She's a fucking click demon and it's working for her. And like I said, she's like transformed herself to where she's almost unrecognizable from where she was back then when she was on like cable television or whatever. So yeah, like no, it's
also
unfortunately there's no stopping this ball as it's rolling.
also was famously insulted extremely by Trump himself, like
Right,
during
right,
that,
right.
was it during the debate that he brought up like basically like, are you on the rag?
I don't remember if it was on the debate or if it was something else, but yeah, that she's bleeding from the eyes, bleeding from the whatever. Yeah.
Did he did, what I'll look it up later. I can, in my memory he
I
said
can't
that
remember
like
the
just
context.
in my memory, which is could be easily wrong, but I
Yeah.
feel like it was like while she was hosting the debate, he like said it to her directly, but maybe it wasn't.
He
Anyway,
he might have been talking like after the debate. He might have been commenting on stuff that happened afterwards because I know that it didn't happen. I it didn't happen contemporaneously. He was
okay.
not in her vicinity when he said it.
But then
But yeah.
she became like embraced by liberals
Yeah.
because
Right.
she kind of pushed back sort of like
And then got
Mr. Trump's
fired. Oh,
right. The other hilarious thing, I don't know if you caught this one, but like people people murked Matt Iglesias's ass on Twitter.
it's actually Iglesias. You're pronouncing it wrong. I'm sorry. So,
Matty N-Glacius, N-word
Matty
Glacius.
Young Iglesias. Yeah, yeah. You have to go. Yeah, yeah.
I was just listening to Come Town, of course. Like I said, I've been doing a lot
Yeah.
lately, and he said that Andy Ngo guy, and then there's just a pause, and Stav is like, Nick is smiling so hard right now. um, Matt Iglesias, he said something in response to the Megyn Kelly clip, like, "Are we really gonna do this now? Like, make excuses for pedophilia, blah blah blah." I forget whatever he said, and then someone
Sure, sure.
pulled up an old post of his. That's him just doing literally the exact same thing, except in like multiple paragraphs, and he even showed a picture of Scarlett Johansson when she was 16 years old in the movie Ghost World, and like he just does the aphibophilia
Wait,
argument.
wait. She wasn't 16 in Ghost World. That's not fair.
That's what he says in his little
Ah,
little essay.
all right, all
Um,
right. I'm gonna have to do some quick research. I'm gonna go have to take a number three and do some research on this.
but his point was using her as an example was like you could easily mistake this for a fully matured woman, but she's in fact 16 in this movie, and it's just like
Okay, he already is fucking up there. He is not a true hebephilia shooter, right? Because he's already accepted the white man. The white man is trying to force you to no, you gotta get in there, you gotta start doing that kind of stuff. Because saying you could confuse this for a fully matured woman, no, 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 no. She is a fully matured woman. That's the real, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that every 16-year-old is fully matured, but I'm saying you can say this one is, and that's why age limits are age of consent laws are incorrect because it's a sliding scale. Some women at 16 are fully matured, and some women are not, right? It shouldn't be, oh, once you hit a certain age, then it's accept you again, like I said, I'm not trying to help whatever this was 10 years ago, Matt Iglesias make a hebephilia, arguments. But I am saying that this is why Matt Iglesias is such a fucking moron, is because he's already starting his defense of a hebephilia from a flawed fucking context because he's a fucking dolt. He's just such a midwit idiot that he can't even. Because like this is where I'm talking about. Like this is like being a classic arg man, a Matt Brunig, TM arg man. Is like if you're gonna make the argument, make the strongest version of the argument, which is again, like I said, that you can look at her and be like, no, she's fully developed. That's a fully developed woman, even though she's 16 years old. She
Yeah,
just happened to be developed at 16. You don't go
that's
like,
that's the
you could
libertarian.
confuse, you wouldn't go, you could confuse her with a fully, developed woman, but she's not. No, she is. Anyways.
Well, it also goes, I mean, it of course goes to him being an idiot, but like it also goes to like what's the point of posting this anywhere? And I think it wasn't
Yeah.
I think it was from his blog or whatever. Like it wasn't even like a post on Twitter. Um, but it was like and then he like I read it. It was just like a quick thing and it's just like but there's no reason to write this. Like he ends it all though by saying like accuracy of language matters or something like that. It's just like I'm not saying this to defend the libertarians who would argue that she looks mature, so she's uh fair game.
Right.
I'm just saying the word pedophile would not be accurate for someone who is attracted to her.
Right. Right. The fucked
So
up
it's
thing
just
is I
like
did look it up right now and she was 16 when they filmed that movie, which is not, it's not right. Anyways, continue.
it's not right.
Oh, and let me also say that accuracy in language is important. Um, and it would just, it wouldn't be correct to whatever. Anyways, yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's like I mean, there's maybe the biggest thing to come out of this was has Trump given Golden Dome to Bubba Gump himself,
Yeah.
Bill Clinton? And my honest opinion of that is that probably not.
Has
Uh,
anyone mentioned that? Because you said Bubba Gump. Um,
Someone might have said that somewhere.
has
I'm
anyone mentioned that like the Bubba Gump thing in uh what is it? Forrest. Oh God, why can't I think of
Forrest
it?
Gump.
Forrest Gump. That them having the shrimp boat thing with the Bubba Gump was a reference to this, because you know how there's the people who think that Tom Hanks is like a big part of all of this.
Oh,
He's like
right.
into
There
and
you
they
go
he
with
did the
the
Bubba Gump thing, and they have like the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company like restaurant and all of that. It's a reference to like Trump, Bubba Trump. It's really meant to be that because he knows that that they were having gay sex with each other.
Papa Trump.
Yeah, the Bubba Gump in the
You're
movie
right.
was a reference to Bubba. Has anyone said this?
I
Am I the
think
first person?
this is to quote our president. This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Yeah.
As Tiny Dancer plays in the background, one of my favorite
Oh,
staples
it's such
of
a good
Trump.
song. It's such a good song. People
It's
don't
such a
really
good
talk
Trump
enough about.
moment. I love that.
Yeah, it's a great Trump moment, but I was gonna say people don't talk enough about Elton John anymore, you know? Elton John, he had an amazing career, you know?
I'm just not like a huge fan personally, so I don't really think
Sure,
about it.
sure.
But
He's got a lot of
he had
bangers,
some
you know?
bangers. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
The
wouldn't
thing that
deny
I
that.
think Here's the thing. I'm talking about this. I've already brought it up. I think it's crazy that Elton John, you know, at his, at this point in time, um, like just people again, like I said, people kind of don't talk about like how many bangers he had,
Did
how
he get
many,
caught up in
how,
some weird shit with like Brian Singer or something? I don't know. Maybe I'm just
not
totally
really.
imagining that.
I just think it's crazy that this near octogenarian man, he's almost 80 years old. I just think it's weird that he's not really part of pop culture anymore. Am I wrong for thinking that? Am I wrong for thinking that it's weird that this 80-year-old pop singer from the fucking 70s isn't talked about constantly anymore?
It's
Or
weird
does that
shit.
seem reasonable? Does that seem reasonable? I don't know. Anyways, continue.
It's about as weird as the Charlie Kirk assassination not adding up. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
I did just search Bryan Singer Elton John, and I think I was mistaken. Yeah.
Uh no, no, he's the piano man, not the Bryan Singer. Uh
The only connection is that Bryan Singer was originally the director of the Elton John biopic Rocket Man, but then was
right.
replaced by someone else.
He probably still directed it though, right? Just like the Freddie
Yeah, I mean,
Mercury movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bryan Singer got away with everything, right? That's
Yeah.
what I'm made to understand.
The man who never dies, Bryan Singer, folks. Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's so much shit. It's 20,000 emails. I'll just also mention the facts and figures that Trump, just the word Trump itself was in these 20,000 documents 1,600 times, which is more than any other individual like name. And that's not even
Right.
combining like Donald with Trump or Don or Donnie or other they had other nicknames I feel like there were between like Epstein and Bannon, but anyway, I'm sure there'll more shit will be discovered in these emails and there's more emails too is the thing. Like it's interesting
Right.
that they like selectively released, these, but um
Well, the funniest thing is like the bill that just passed that says they have to release the thing
in 30
and then
days,
Trump,
right? Yeah.
yeah, and then Trump signed it, he signed it off. Oh, yeah, this is
Not
important. We have to do it. I'm
reluctantly
going to
at
sign.
all.
Oh, yeah, it's very important. I have to sign it because
He
like
literally
all
said,
of the
sorry.
no, go. Say what you're going to say.
Just, it's just so funny. Like the basic nuts and bolts of like the facts of it. He was like, no, don't release these fucking files. And then he signs the thing to
Right.
release the files. And people are like, see, he's above board. He's playing fair.
Right. Well, yeah, and it again it goes it kind of like is exactly what I was getting to is like the idea that like it's like, oh, they passed this fucking bill in the House and the Senate and went all the way. Trump has to sign it into law to make it legal, and then it's like, okay, like you said, well, okay, cool, in 30 days we're gonna release it, and then when it all comes down to it, like, oh yeah, Trump signed it. He's on board. Everything's good. He's gonna release it in 30 days. He could have released it at any point. Trump could have released all of this
Oh, yeah.
even before any of it happened. So the
Right.
idea that it's like, yeah, it's all above board and he's into it. It's like, okay, cool. So then why didn't he just release it without having to make the Senate like make a law and do it? And then he signs it. Oh, he's not vetoing it. He's signing it. It's legit. He doesn't have to wait 30 days. He could release it at any point he likes. He could
When
have released it at the beginning of his fucking presidency.
he could have released it before Epstein even killed himself. He was president then, and there were files. I mean, of course, like people weren't clamoring for them at that point, but like you could technically go back as far as that. Um,
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, yeah. Like none of it, it's all fucking kabuki theater. It's all fucking bullshit.
I also thought just that some of the bits and pieces that I picked up on in there, where Epstein came off as genuinely hating Trump for sure, but also like seeming to kind of fear him in a way. And then, but just like some of the most, I guess, damning shit, I guess, if you want to call it that, is just how many times seems to say, like, I'm the only one who could take Trump down, like something to almost those exact words. But yeah, Epstein. Like I said, this is the most fun stuff going on in the news as far as I'm concerned. Um, but we could move on to something else, I think, such as John Fetterman falling on his face. That was pretty funny. Then he like I think he just released a memoir, like that simultaneously like cracked his face open and then a book came out maybe of his face. That's how books are formed now.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's doing some good PR. He's getting his name out there. He's getting attention to sell his book. And now you have some kind of issue with this?
Oh my God, I didn't even know that his book was called Unfettered until this very
That's
moment.
so good. That is so good.
That
That is so
I was gonna say
God damn,
that's the
that's good.
coolest thing he's ever done, but there's no way he even came up with that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Man,
my
that's
book
good.
should be called The Book by John Fetterman.
Yeah. I think that my book should be called Unsweatered because I wear a hooded sweater.
Yeah, they say unfettered, and he's like, well, what about unsweatered? Sir, that makes no sense. You're always wearing sweats.
No.
Um, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about that, I guess.
No, see, it's the idea is that it's unsweatered because it's like if he was naked. If he took the sweater
Oh, okay,
off,
okay.
he would be
You got
naked
me.
underneath
You're
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, the idea of him really opening up. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Trump seems kind of like I mean, I'll give you that he was sort of with it enough to like the way he handled the Zoran thing, right? Like by deflecting the fascist question.
Right, right.
But in other areas, he seems to be kind of falling off, losing it a bit.
Sure,
Like
sure.
him just resorting to childish insults, which I guess he's been known to do in the past anyway, but him calling that one reporter piggy just seemed like
Yeah, that's pretty good.
a new low point of just like this
Pretty
is
good.
pathetic.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
oh, holy shit. Him going to McDonald's, the McDonald's summit. That was incredible.
That wait, that happened since the podcast has been gone? That can't be
That just
true.
happened like a week ago.
That no. Oh wait, no. This is not when he went and he worked at the McDonald's. This
No,
is
no,
something
no. This
else.
was him
Okay,
speaking
okay.
at this McDonald's event. It's like
Okay,
a
okay,
big
okay, okay.
corporate McDonald's event. And then the White House posted on the official White House Twitter like this shitty AI image of the Golden Arches like on top of the White House, like as a way of showing like this is pretty great what our dear leader is doing today. And he just like
Right.
he got up in front of this group of McDonald's corporate weirdos and just did like a classic like off the cuff, just bebopping and scatting Trump
Hell yeah.
Trump's speech about like how the economy is so great, just all the greatest hits basically, but like sounding more demented. Like it's a progressive disease, so he can't help
Right. That's
it.
how it works.
um
But it also ebbs and flows. You're at while you're also on the Epstein spectrum, you're also on the Alzheimer's spectrum.
It's just like it feels almost like a reaction to the Epstein stuff for him of just like he needs to soothe himself. It's like how can I most soothe myself? I want to just be one with McDonald's. Like I'm not just gonna eat some McDonald's. I'm not just going to have burger, as people like to say these days. And then also, of course, it sort of it gave literal meaning, I guess, more literalized meaning to the Burger Reich meme style thing that people say. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I only caught like a little of the speech, but just the fact that he did it was so funny, and it just seemed like a real kind of comfort, baby needs comfort type of move because
Right.
you could tell he was like having a great time because the audience was like just very, obediently like laughing when he wanted them to laugh and that kind of shit. Um, so yeah, he was just really in his element again. Forget about all those emails. Just go give a speech to the corporate
Yeah.
freaks at McDonald's. He even said something at one point where it's kind of like he was almost had a glimpse of self-awareness. Like he was just on this like long trailing off whatever like thing about how great he is and what's going on in America. And then he like stopped and was like, well, I don't know what exactly this has to do with McDonald's, but it might.
Ah,
It's like he
fuck.
caught himself like in this fugue state and like snapped out of it for a second. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He was having a great time with MBS and that little visit there.
Oh yeah. That was so good. That was such a good one because he was like, he just like randomly started throwing dirt on Jamal Khashoggi's grave for no
Yeah,
fucking
that
reason.
was
Some
crazy.
people did, a lot of people disliked him too. It's like, who had a big issue with him other than MBS? There's not like a ton of people that were like, Jamal Khashoggi, boo, he's such a bad guy. No, it
Yeah,
was just MBS that has ever said anything bad about him, you know?
yeah. World population was just clamoring for his fucking blood.
Well, it's not, it's not, the thing is, it's not black and white. He's not a martyr. It was 50, it was really 50-50 on the guy. It's like, no, he was like barely known outside of like small circle. Yes, he was like a nationally published author, but
But
he wasn't Meghan Markle or something. He
but
wasn't like this person who was like in the fucking gossip columns, you know?
but even if he was, none of that matters. They fucking
Right.
killed him in cold
Because
blood.
they killed him with a bone saw. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. But,
And that ties in with some action, like some truly heinous shit going on that I we'd be remiss not to mention because it's like in progress as we speak. Just this insane war on Venezuelan fishing vessels that's been happening,
oh yeah.
and just now we're seeming to mobilize like a bunch of giant ships and whatnot in the region, and it doesn't look promising, I'll say. And like, it's just so insane, like along the lines of like Trump just openly like saying like it was all right that this guy got murdered by the guy I'm sitting next to on stage because people kind of didn't like him. It's okay that these boats and these fishing boats have been blown up because maybe some drugs were on them.
Right.
And like I think like most of them weren't even from Venezuela, like the people that were murdered. I mean, some of these things happened like in the Pacific Ocean. Um, and then I even heard that like some people did like the math and like where these boats were located and what kind of boats they were, they would have had to refuel 20 times to actually reach the United States. It's like it's just not.
Yeah.
And even if they weren't,
Not feasible.
even if they
Yeah.
weren't, you can't just blow up people because you suspect they are having drugs on them and they're not even in
Right.
like the jurisdiction of the United States. And even if they were, it's still not okay. And yet at the same time, I have to hear on fucking, whatever podcast cringe, like Andrew Schultz going off about how people who bring fentanyl to my country should die, bro. It's just like,
Yeah.
God damn,
Well,
dude.
I'm just I'm thinking about the amount of times that I just like fully got pulled over by a police officer drunk as shit driving a car that was filled with drugs, recreational, or sometimes also drugs that were for sale. But you know what I mean? And like that they didn't drop a fucking a Hellcat missile on my ass. And it was not even
They
like
didn't immediately just pull out their sidearm and shoot you
incinerate,
in the
yeah,
head. I mean,
incinerate my vehicle. Yeah.
that's what the real one-to-one though would be, right? Is like they would just like shoot you in the head after they see like a
And
joint.
I would have it coming. I would have had it more coming than these people did because you have nothing.
Not even, yeah, because not even seeing a joint, they would have been like, I kind of smell a little bit of marijuana, perhaps, and blown all of the
Right.
people's brains out who were in the car.
Yeah. It's like meanwhile, I'm like fully drunk driving, ashing a joint on a cop's boot. I've done this before. I had a joint hanging out the window and I ashed it onto the guy's shoe as I'm drunk, and the car has cocaine and ecstasy and mushrooms in it. And I'm just like, oh, I'm just going home. And he's like, where do you live? Over around the corner. I would always just say around the corner. That's every time I got
You're
pulled
on the
over.
highway.
Yeah, I just live right around the corner. All right, just get home safe. I got sent home so many fucking times. Why did they not drop a cruise missile on my ass right there? Bam! Done. Boom, boom,
Well,
boom,
see,
boom. Should have called it in.
that was just a worse America though. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Make America great again means let me fucking drive a little, let me get a little loose. I'm better. I swear to God, I'm better after 5 beers. I'm a better driver after 5 beers. Like, it's just the truth.
Did you did you see uh did you see Trump talking about his mysterious MRI scan?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, this is a
That was a stone cold classic for all time, as all of these are.
chunk. Lock it in. This is
They ask him the most basic question about his health and like a thing that's been publicly made available. So why did you get an MRI, sir? Oh, I don't know what they were looking at, but the doctor said I had the best one they've ever seen.
the best one they've ever seen. And this is another shout out to the Majority Report. Got to give them credit. Love the guys. They're tracking this based on, and it's funny because I know about this stuff because it's like part of my job. They're tracking this based on the cycles of when you would get Alzheimer's infusions.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and it actually is lining up to the point where it's like Trump keeps going in for like routine checkups to
Yeah,
the doctor
every
on a
three
schedule
months.
that would make sense every month, like every
Oh,
28 days or whatever, when it would make sense for getting these Alzheimer's infusions. And then also because they like when they do these, they have to like especially early on when they're starting them, they like are checking like how you react to the medications because it can cause like different reactions in different people and how do they respond. So so it would make sense for him to have gotten an MRI at this point based on that. So it's just like, oh. So Trump is just fully on fucking medications to try to like manage his dementia, his full-blown dementia. So as you were talking about earlier, the times where he doesn't seem that lucid, it's not unquestionable about why that's happening.
yeah, yeah. He's definitely declined. Well, we can at least
Right.
say for sure since the first presidency. Um,
Right.
but it just it was so funny about that to me was like not even the part where he's like the doctor said I had the best one ever because he always says that. But I mean
Right.
it's still funny. That's evergreen. But the funniest part is that he just couldn't like think of a lie.
Right.
It's like I feel like it even broke down to like just say you like they just scanned your fucking brain, man. Like he's like, I don't
Right.
know. I don't know what part of my body they looked at, but it was the best one.
And they said it was the best they've ever seen. I heard someone say they wanted to calibrate the machine by testing it against a perfect brain. They wanted to make sure that it was working right.
If
Oh,
Trump weren't stupid, he would have said something like that. Exactly like that.
right,
That's like what he wants. That's what he yearns to say inside, but
right.
it just comes out as I got
Nah,
the A plus.
nah. The old Trump, the original Trump. We miss that guy. That's the sad part about the MAGA movement is that what they really want is they don't want MAGA. They want MAGTA. They want to make Trump great again.
Yeah.
That's all we really care about.
Yeah. He's he's seeming to kind of let him down. And I don't know. Whatever it's worth, polling that I've come to understand as I'm not paying as much attention to this stuff as I have in days past, is pretty abysmal. Like even like amongst just Republicans, which usually is like has him up at like 100% or whatever, like no matter what he does. But I think the fucking Epstein emails and all of that Epstein stuff is just the bridge too far for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, But it's other stuff too, I guess, kind of in a way. Like the Nick Fuentes like wing of all of this is like, likes to say that they're against like bowing down to Israel or like doing foreign wars and shit. But then the same type of people are like t totally justifying what's going on with Venezuela right now as well. Like, oh, well, that's not a foreign
Right.
war. That's just the war on drugs. The war on drugs is totally
Yeah,
fine.
but that's normal and good and just has never ended. Like the war on drugs is just never ending. It's a never ending war, right? There's no like when do we declare victory on drugs, right? Like that feels like that's like a fucking, like a Mitch Hedberg joke. Like that's how old that is, you know what I mean? Like when do we declare victory on drugs? Yeah.
Right, right. And I feel like I've just heard someone else mention this, but like if you were going to go after any drug pu pushers in a just scenario, like the Sacklers would all be, hung
Right.
upside down in the streets, and would have
Right.
been 20, 25 years ago or whatever. But no, they're all still billionaires somehow, even
Right.
after paying some fines, some big fines. But yeah, anyway. Um, I think the only thing I got left on here is I've got Loomer slash Rod Dreher just now noticed that they're surrounded by Nazis. Did you catch any of
Oh,
that?
yeah, sure, sure. Yeah. I saw a little bit of that.
I fell
Loomer
asleep.
more than Rob Dreher.
Yeah, I saw the Loomer tweets or whatever, tweets plural, and then I heard the premise basically on a recent episode of Chapo, but I was like listening to it as I was falling asleep, so I didn't make it through the reading of the Rod Dreher article, but he published some article that was basically the same exact sentiment and probably a way more long-winded, uh, totally straight guy kind of way, as Rod Dreher
Right.
always does. Um, and he lives in Hungary, right? So
He's gay for the
that's
Bible.
like Nazi central over there.
Uh, He's gay for the Bible and he's living in Hungary because he's hungry for cock. Yeah. But yeah, no.
I mean, that's one of those that like it's the headline kind of says it all. Like, but
Right.
Loomer's like genuine like exasperation or it seems
She's
genuine.
so good.
She's like,
She's so good.
you guys, I'm sorry to be the first one to have to say this, but we got to talk about the Nazi problem in MAGA.
Yeah. The this was like and this is like tangentially related. I'm just like I'm just pushing rope here. Um because I just noticed that like Pariah the doll has gone back to being trans after doing like the D-trans I'm hanging out with a fucking Milo and I'm getting into Christianity thing and just gave it up. It's like that's like where Loomer is. Loomer is like at the same level as Pariah the doll, like trying to grift off of MAGA by pretending to be D-trans.
I don't know
Loomer
this
is like
person.
they're just like a famous internet like transsexual woman who did like this like MAGA movement to being like, oh, I'm not transsexual anymore. And Milo Yiannopoulos is like retraining me into being a man
Oh, because
because
Milo's not
Milo's
gay
also
anymore.
straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Okay, I
like
got it.
just quietly gave up on it and was like, yeah, this grift kind of doesn't work anymore. We can't like make money off of this anymore. And that's where Loomer is. Loomer is like, yeah, I'm like the biggest MAGA Trump supporter ever. I'm fucking crazy and everything's great. Give me a bunch of money. And then it's completely falling apart because they're like, no, we don't care about you. Charlie Kirk got murdered. And actually, we all just think that that's good. We're going to continue to pretend like he's a saint and a fucking martyr and we love him. But we're also now firmly in the Nick Fuentes fuck all Jews category. And like Loomer's like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, what the fuck is going on here? It's like, yeah, bitch, like it moves like this. It sometimes
Also,
Loomer
that
has
shit was always
unfortunately
there. She can't not have been
right.
aware of it. That's, I mean, unless maybe she is just in such a, like, has such tunnel vision for the fucking bullshit she's obsessed with. But No, she
Right.
knows who Nick fucking Fuentes is. I wouldn't be surprised if they'd collabed at some point in the past. But maybe not. I don't know. Does Fuentes fuck with any Jews? I mean,
No.
he fucks with Kanye, but maybe Kanye's blackness is canceled out by his anti-Semitism in his eyes. I don't know. I did see some video clip where like Fuentes, this seems to just sort of like sum up the whole MAGA Civil War thing. He's literally holding in his hands two hats, a red hat and a blue hat. The red hat, of course, is a MAGA hat, and the blue hat is America First. So
America first. Yeah.
they're trying to put very generic title on it, but he's just like, this is all gone now. This is the future. And then like,
Right.
and the fact that his like numbers or whatever seem to be like on the rise is like, I guess, concerning to some degree because he is a freak who really seems to have convictions, sort of,
Eh, he doesn't,
sort
and I don't
of.
believe that he does. I don't believe that he does. I believe he's just another sick freak media nasty man.
Is it
But
just clicks?
yeah, it's all just clicks. All the way down, it's all just clicks. But the thing about like the comparison is like it's the the Loomer the Fuentes thing is that yeah, Loomer wants it to be one way, but
Yeah.
it's the other way. It's the other way. And that's like the difference.
But she's
Like
also, I think,
things
not.
are moving to the Fuentes way.
She's not gonna quietly fade away either, though, which we've seen in the last seen
Right,
like all
right,
the
right, right.
time, like her flipping out about the Zoran Trump meeting, and the whatever the thing we just talked about, suddenly noticing she's surrounded by Nazis. Like, I don't know, we'll see, but she seems like the type who's gonna like hang on with all 20 claws, as it were, and
Right.
probably explode in some kind of spectacular fashion. But
We'll
who?
see. I mean,
I mean, she's like faded away. She like fades in and
right.
out of the people noticing her at all or not type of thing. At least that's the way
I
I.
mean, the a bit that you can give Loomer is that she's semi-consistent comparatively, you know? There's a lot of people who kind of blow where the wind goes. We could, talk about the Red Scare
She
broads.
ate that dog food. That was
Yeah,
consistent. She kept her word.
right. That's like kind of the thing. Like Loomer, like you can say what you want to say about her, that she's disgusting. She looks like Jigsaw if it was a woman.
She got
All the
new
things
work
you want.
too, I think. Like
Uh,
horrendous
she's
work.
nasty. She's stupid. She's ugly. We hate her. I don't like looking at her. It makes me want to vomit. You could say all these things about her if you want, but you can't say that she's not consistent. Again, like I was like the comparison point is like because I heard like someone say that like Red Scare they blow where the wind goes. There's a lot of fucking media people who do that. They
Oh
just go
yeah,
where they can
but the
see it. Megyn
majority.
Kelly, yeah. But like Loomer kind of has stuck with her thing. She has not changed a ton. She like has her convictions and that's where she's at. And like you said, she like wax and wanes. She doesn't stay 100% relevant, but she also doesn't completely fall off to irrelevancy. She could always have a comeback. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You bringing up Red Scare, I was going to say it's maybe the last thing to talk about here because it's basically the last thing on the list is Dasha getting dropped
The
from her.
cancellation of Dasha by the coward Nick Fuentes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot it was about Nick Fuentes already. But,
Yeah. Yeah. Of
yeah.
course. But it kind of isn't, right? Because everyone's saying it's like this one person who has this axe to grind with her, which
Oh, I
is
didn't even
fair,
know.
but
Who is the
like the
person?
real I don't
Doesn't
know. It's
matter.
out
Okay.
there. No, like it's out there. They want to be famous for whatever, but I don't care to remember their name.
Okay.
Um, because there's just some fucking producer slash failed actor, whatever, idiot, dumbass, who just
Retweeting
has
in income
yeah,
poop.
exactly. Yeah, who has this fucking axe to grind against Dasha for whatever. And But also, like, to me, the reason why Dasha deserved it is because she was just like fucking glazing Nick Fuentes and being a fangirl over this guy. And it's just like he's this like he's got parlor tricks of like being slightly funny while t saying like insanely racist shit, only a little bit better than you, but he's younger or whatever. And it's just like it's fucking sad. Like I don't know, like Megan Kelly can acts like slightly sycophantic towards the Red Scare girls when they're on her podcast, but she does not come across as like I don't know, just like
Well, she's a
fucking
professional who defends
right. Like
hemophilia, but still.
yeah, she didn't come across like as like cringy and grasping towards like relevancy and like fangirling out to them throughout like the interview. She seemed like excited and interested and titillated by them, but like when Dasha was interviewing Nick Fuentes, she came across like she was just like a full-blown like fucking like, you know, like poster, like a person who's just like on the Nick Fuentes Reddit, like doing like super chats to get his attention from daddy or whatever. And that was like, I feel like she deserved to be canceled more for that than anything else. It's just the idea that like you were like just so grossly sycophantic to this person who's like, a full-blown Nazi freak, whatever. Like that part's very bad because you're basically like endorsing everything he says, and he's just like fucking gross. But it's also like this like subpar like fucking medium grade talent, and you're just like buying into it hook like in line and sinker like an average fucking dumbass plebe. And that's like kind of the sadder part of it, where it's like, yeah, you don't deserve a job in media because you're like subjugating yourself to this like fucking, I guess high level kick streamer. That's fucking gross.
She's also kind of boring as an actress, but
Right,
my first thought when I heard about this shit was, well, why was she canceled like years ago? Because think about some of the guests they've had on
right,
that they fawned over.
right,
Steve
right.
Bannon, fucking, I mean, the most prominent one to me because
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, but the one that stood out the most to me is the one that you and I spent like half of an episode talking about once, Steve Saylor. She was
Right.
that was one of my like observations about that episode too, is how mu disgustingly she was fawning over everything he said. Um, and I didn't listen to the
Well, that's her
Fuentes
only
one, but
reaction, I guess,
yeah,
to
because
like
she's a
men, I
fucking
guess.
idiot. She doesn't
Right,
have anything to say, it seems like. It's just like Anna's the one who does a lot of the talking, and she just does the fucking giggling
right.
is the dynamic I'm picking up on
Yeah.
without having really I haven't listened to anything of theirs since that Steve Saylor episode. But how are they doing over there? Pretty happy? Did they talk about the
Pretty bad.
controversy yet?
Yeah, they just released an episode today and they talked about it mostly, but like it was just like it was really sad. It was like just like being, I don't know, like I can't believe they would do this to me. I don't deserve it. Like it was very morose. Yeah, it was insane. It was I'm
That's
just like a struggling actress who's just trying to make a career. Yeah, yeah.
I love how all of the fucking dirtbag left irony is just completely drained. Like,
Right,
imagine them in like 2019 and her getting cut loose like that. They would have been like, whatever, who gives a shit? Like, we don't need
right,
Hollywood. That's so
right.
pathetic. That is sad.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And
It was
I'm
really
happy
sad.
for her to be
Yeah,
sad.
she has it coming.
All right. I feel like we got through a lot of news and such.
It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time.
I
To quote
think
the immortal song.
I think I may have to go jack off real quick, and then we can do f final segment, general recommendations. If you did you want to did you have anything you wanted to go into more about though with the Adam Carolla
No,
Rogan
no, no,
thing?
no, no, no,
Feel free to while I'm jerking off. I'll be back in a
no,
second.
no.
We just got Back at the exact same time, I think.
Pretty close.
All
Hmm.
right. It's been it's been 5 months, so I've got like 20,000 recommendations. No, I'll only say a couple here, I think. But I've got a lot saved up for future episodes. I'll put it that way. Let's see. I started listening to a band that I had been told to listen to probably like 20 years ago at least, and just never got around to for some reason. Little old band called the Silver Jews,
Oh,
headed up by one David Berman, RIP. He killed himself in 2019. He's a pretty interesting guy, very interesting lyricist. He he wrote some poetry too, which I ended up reading after I just like I woke up one day and I was just like suddenly thinking of this guy for some reason. I don't know why. And just like read his Wikipedia and then started finally listening to the music and I don't know, like interviews and stuff with him. But anyway, he's very cool. His band is cool. His one book of poetry he published called Actual Air is a recommendation I would make. And I would recommend all of his music, but particularly, I guess, and this is just this is like the standard opinion of fans, I think, as their best album being one called American Water. So check that out. It's really weird how he released an album under a different name, like right before he killed himself. And like the songs are just so straightforwardly about like sound like someone who's about to kill themselves. It's like almost funny in a perverse way. Like he like split up with his wife that he'd been married to for 20 years and like there's a song and a music video and the lyrics are just so obviously about like lose like his wife leaving, but it's like it's kind of like set in this way of like she's like getting ready to go out tonight, but like without me, and it's like in this kind of like sarcastic, ironic way a little bit, but his actual wife is like in the video where this is happening. And anyway, like when like one of the songs on it was like called something like literally like straightforward, like all my happiness is gone. It's just like it's on the nose to the point where, I mean, yeah, tragicomic. That's one of the adjectives I put in our podcast bio. So it's that. So check that shit out. And
hell yeah.
then I saw a really excellent movie called One Battle After Another. I saw it twice in
I've
the
heard about that.
theater. It's very cool. I loved it. And I've gone back and just started like rewatching all the P.T. Anderson movies since then. It might be my favorite of all of them, and I really love some of his other movies. But yeah, it's very cool. I'll just say it's very cool. I feel like it's gotten a lot of press anyway, and a lot of people who listen to this podcast probably have seen it already. And if you haven't, and you do listen to this podcast, I don't know how else you're hearing this, but go see it. I recommend it even to you, Tim, someone who's somewhat of a film skeptic. I think you might like it.
Yeah,
I'll recommend one more movie as well.
might as
Begonia,
well.
it's the Stavros Halkias movie, as I'll call it. Did you see like the pictures of him on like
No.
the red carpet at like
Oh
the
yeah, I saw
Venice
that.
Film
Yeah,
Festival? It was
yeah,
for this
yeah.
movie. And like the director, Yorgos Lanthimos, who made that movie that you and I think heavily disagreed about. Uh,
Right, right. Did we?
I really loved it, and you were kind of like, "Why?" is what I remember at least. But
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
um, Begonia is like basically a pretty faithful remake. I thought it was going to be a little bit even more different than it was, but pretty faithful remake with some cool changes too, of a Korean movie from 2003 called Save the Green Earth. And yeah, basically the premise is two people kidnap a CEO of a company because they think he or she in Begonia is an alien from outer space, and a lot of weird, fucked up type stuff happens from there. And I watched both movies for the first time, actually. I'd been meaning to watch the Korean one forever. I watched it right before I went to the theater to watch Begonia, the remake, and I was literally like, I was trying to finish it, so I was like watching it on my phone in the theater as like the ads were playing for this next movie to come up, and I didn't actually get to finish it. So the climax, big ending was still a surprise to me when I saw the remake. But yeah, all three of those movies were great, and check out Dave Berman and the Silver Jews. You got anything over there, Tim?
Um, I didn't think I was going to have anything.
What have you
But
been up to these 5 months? There's got to be
eh,
something.
eh, not much. Work, hanging out, watching watching a little bit of wrestling here and there, but not really even that.
What do you recommend from the pharmacological world then?
Oh, you should definitely do uppers. We're definitely in like a speed era right now. I think is the time
They're
to
hot.
it.
Are they hot right now?
Well, it's kind of like when you're in when that's how it works. It's like when the economy is going down, you want to take drugs to make you go up, right? When the economy is going up, you want to take drugs to make you go
I've
down.
never
That's
more wished that you had a PowerPoint with graphs on
right,
it than
right.
right now.
To explain this, yeah. But that's kind of how it works. But I guess the main thing I would recommend is I saw a YouTube clip of CM Punk shooting basketballs that Dave Portnoy was handing to him, and he was just bricking every shot. Um, and I just love seeing that because I'm a CM Punk is like probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I think he's like a terrible person. I fucking
Yeah,
hate him
you've
as a
told me about
guy.
him being a bad guy, but
Yeah,
as a wrestler,
yeah.
you dig what he
I
does.
love him. I think he's like one of the best wrestlers that's ever lived. Deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, all this and that. So watching a video of him just like shooting brick after brick after brick while
Oh, I
Dave
thought
Portnoy, who is
Portnoy was
also
bricking.
no, Dave
Oh,
Portnoy
that
is
would have
giving
been
the basketballs to CM Punk. That's why it makes it even better because it's like I fucking hate CM Punk. He's such a shitty dude, and he's
okay.
just like he's bricking basketballs that are getting handed to him by Dave Portnoy, who's a piece of shit rapist, which like also plays into how bad CM Punk is because he like tries to pretend like he's like supportive of like women and gays and all that. And he's hanging out with this fucking nasty pervert man, and he's like, just here, take this basketball. Oh, I suck. Oh, take this basketball from the rapist. Oh, I suck. I can't get a single basket as the rapist gives me basketballs. So I would recommend checking out that clip. Um, I'll send the link to to Josh to put in the description. You can check this out. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the most fun I've had in the past 6 months.
Um, I just realized another kind of a weird recommendation I have. Look into a little thing called, I don't even know if I can pronounce this, Morsicatio buccarum, which in other
Okay,
words is it's this condition where people like chew on the inside of their cheeks.
I do that.
I do that a lot, and I've done it like I think as long as I can remember my whole life. And I never once thought about it as being like a disorder. I just thought it was like kind of this weird thing, but I don't mostly never noticed I was even doing it. But I noticed I was doing it a lot lately because, like I said at the beginning of the episode, things are not going great at my job. And so I like just looked it up, like, what's that about? Oh, it's like an actual diagnosable thing. And it also reminded me that I must have had some weird stress as like a kid when I was, I don't know, maybe around 10, where I went through a brief phase of literally pulling my hair out,
Oh,
which is like a thing that also has a crazy weird name, tri
tri
trichotillomania,
tri yeah,
something like that.
trichomania, yeah.
To the point where I had a little like bald spot on the top of my head. So I'm saying if you notice yourself literally pulling your hair out or biting the inside of your mouth, it may be a sign of some sort of stress. And
Ah,
I'm like trying to make myself like not do it as much. Like when I notice myself do it, I like cut it out. But it's very compulsive, and it was actually it's kind of it's like one of those things where like when you realize something you do or feel or think like is like not just something you do, you feel a little less. I didn't really feel bad about it before either, but maybe actually now I feel bad about it because it's a like a mental disease. No, it's not really talked about like that either, but I don't know. Anyway, that's my weird way of taking us out
sure,
here.
sure.
Um, what do we do next? You tell us about your other podcast. How's it going over at the other
Uh,
podcast?
I haven't done episodes of that in a couple months, so not really concerned.
Really? I feel like I saw you do one like not that long ago.
I don't know.
I'm hallucinating.
It's been a minute.
Okay. Not as long as this one, but almost or something.
2 months.
Oh, okay. Then
But
I'm probably thinking of something from 2.5 months ago.
exactly. That's
All
how
right.
time works, I guess.
Well, still, the
Yeah.
good people. Anyway, if you don't want to
I
talk
have
it
no
up,
fucking
I,
clue. I
I
have
can.
no clue. Honestly, I have no clue what's going on with any of that. We'll do an episode again someday, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, there's a very large back catalog, and you can access that if you go
Right.
to the episode.
Violentpeople.co, just yeah. Oh, sorry.
Also in the episode notes, you can get to the
Yeah.
to violentpeople.co and your Twitter and all that stuff, including our Discord, which you should join and come say hi. And I think that's it. I think that's all the stuff we usually say. Um, yeah. And as always, as I always said very originally, since I was a angsty teenager, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. And as Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein always say to each other, you complete me, and I'll have what she's having. Good night. Good luck. Good morning, Vietnam. That's a wrap. That's all she wrote.
Moments can be monuments to you if your life is interesting and true. It's just the same for a man or a girl. The meaning of the world lies outside the world. People love people and they understand. If you wanna renovate your background mind, a federal woman needs municipal man. People gotta synchronize to animal time. You can't change the feeling their scotch. People send people up to the moon, and when they return, well, there isn't much. People be careful not to crest too soon. The drums march along at the clip of an ivy drip, like sparks from a muffler dragged down the strip. I really hope you come around. It's sunny and 75. It feels so good to be alive. Come on, baby, don't stay inside. Everybody's coming out tonight.
The first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune, recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?